So as we approach November 5th for the election, there are several pieces of information that I want to share with you, and that is specific around the idea of voter suppression. The 13th Amendment was enacted in 1865 that neither slavery nor involuntary servitude could be practiced in this country. And then the 14th Amendment in 1868. The 14th Amendment grants citizenship to those who are born and who are naturalized here in this country. But then the 15th Amendment, which gave voting rights, that was ratified in 1869, 1870, where no one could be denied or their rights could be abridged. There are three sectors currently in play that affect our voting rights. Now, there are some who say that voting doesn't matter. There's the federal level, there is the state level, and there is the local level. In 2013, because of the Supreme Court, because of the appointments on the Supreme Court, in a 5-4 decision in 2013 of June 25th, what is called the Shelby County decision. They removed a provision from the 1965 Voting Rights Act, which was called pre-clearance. Pre-clearance was for every state, specifically in the South, that had a history of voter suppression. They had to get pre-clearance to see if they were violating any laws from the Department of Justice. Because several of the justices who were appointed, not elected, they were appointed by the Bush administration and also, by the Bush administration, they were able to there's a 5-4 decision that removed pre-clearance. Well, what does that mean? It means now that states don't have to have a review from the Department of Justice. Well, what does that mean? Well, first, the federal level Supreme Court, because certain people chose not to vote, we ended up with the individuals that we have on the Supreme Court. They then have a decision that affects our voting rights. Shelby County decision. Once Shelby County decision came down in June 25th, 2013, then Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Oklahoma, Tennessee, West Virginia, every southern state, their state legislatures began to put in voter repression, suppression legislation. Let me give you one. Polling places. In a wealthy district in Georgia, you may have 30 or 100 polling places where you don't have a long line. In a black community that has a denser population, you may have 5 polling places where it may take you all day just to vote. If there was pre-clearance, this would be illegal because it would be considered voter suppression. In certain states, because again of Shelby County, you then have, like in Texas, we have voter ID laws. But not just any ID, you have to have a certain kind of state ID. And it costs money for you to get the ID. For those who don't have the money, and for seniors who do not have the mobility, they are then unable to vote. Another piece is in and around incarceration, where those who've been incarcerated and are now living their life in certain states, like in Florida and other places, they put in legislation that would keep that person from having their full citizenship rights, which would be voting. It starts on a federal level, then it moves to a state level, and then moves to a local level. This is why it is so incredibly important for us to understand voting laws, and voter suppression. My 5 minutes are up. In the words of Sean Connery, there endeth the lesson. Use the information as you will. May God bless you, and may God keep you.